Hey, how are you? Everything is everything. Hi there. Sorry, I was sitting there fixing my hair. It is I, Vitamin Key. Welcome to Level Up Single Mom. We are here this week on our scheduled Woman Chat Wednesday slot. So that's awesome. How is everybody? I want to do a few announcements first. So, first off, I did, let's just kind of go over what went on throughout the week. So, last week we did a Thursday stream. We did a Thursday stream because Themis, it wasn't because Themis was doing a live on Wednesday. I was actually tired, and the fact that Themis was doing a live on Wednesday, it gave me more incentive to just be like, I'm a chill. But I was generally tired, and I'll be honest with you, I was tired today. I don't know why it is on Wednesday. Stuff just seems to start coming on, and I get tired and I get overwhelmed. I wasn't considering not doing my thing, but I was strongly considering not being on camera because I was just like, now I've set this precedent for myself in my own mind, if nowhere else, for all the zhuzh and the makeup. Hey, Invisible Summer, welcome. So I was just like, there's no way I'm doing my makeup today. It's hot. I'm kind of tired. Like, I just am not feeling it. And so then I was like, well, I'm not going to go on camera because I've started, I've set the bar up here now, so I don't want to come down. But then I was like, as I was getting more into my preparation for this one is going to be so good. Like, I'm actually really excited about it. As I started getting more into it, I was like, they need to see my face. They need to get all the inflection. They need to get all of the, personality and see the expression behind the things that I'm going to be saying, because this is just a really interesting conversation. Hey, Diamonds and Pearls, as you can see, we are going to be discussing money. And you might say, well, why isn't this a birth year bag? Because this isn't about necessarily making money per se. It's more so about how money and power is handled within the household structure. You know what I mean, pertaining to Black women, single mothers, and like I said, the big mamas in the title or description. I said something about the big mamas. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to go into that dynamic, how that affects us as Black women and single mothers in our dealings with the men in our community, how it also ultimately affects our pockets, our earning potential, our attitudes, and comfort or discomfort with money and cash flow and things like that. So I'm really, really excited about it. I wanted to let me do the intro here, and then we'll get started. Okay, so as you know, I am building a platform, and I am building a platform from my heart. I'm building it from my experiences, from my pain points, and with a genuine interest and purpose in helping other women that have been where I come from or where I am, whatever, however you want to say it, but other women like me to navigate the more nuanced realities of this reality. You know what I mean? Whether it's the intersection of just being a Black woman, whether you're also a single mother, you know, whatever that may be, I want to be able to reach out my arm, my hand, and say, hey, I see you struggling in this particular way. And this is what I did to kind of, or this is what I'm doing to kind of navigate that situation. Hey, True Mystique, welcome. That being said, I am a poor woman. Like right now at this juncture in my life, I'm a poor woman. Welcome, Jenny Bean. But I do strive to reach a certain level of financial independence, of financial abundance. Hey, Tori. I just want to be able to be okay. I want to be able to be okay financially. I want to be able to get my kids all the things that they need and deserve. I want to be able to do all that stuff fairly, reasonably easy. You know what I mean? But as I said before, it's hard to do things when you don't have a precedent set for doing it in the particular way you want to do it. Like maybe you can accomplish it. You might have seen it done. Like I've seen a household be maintained financially. I've seen bills getting paid. And some may even say that I have had a better, that's why I say I'm privileged in a lot of ways. I've had a better experience with like the paying of bills and stuff like that, because I didn't experience the lights getting cut off. I didn't experience syrup sandwiches, you know what I mean? And the stereotypical kid from the hood experience that is pushed in the media, which I'm not saying is real or isn't real on a large scale. I'm just saying I personally never struggled that way. And I'm grateful for it. And I recognize, like I've said many times before, my privilege in that. But that being said, now that I'm to a point where I can kind of look around and choose the paradigm that I want to build for myself and maybe even for my kid, like as a jumping off point for where they may go, I don't necessarily want to do it the way that I've seen it done. I don't want to struggle. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to struggle. And when even to say that, I'm feeling like trepidation, I'm feeling kind of a pull in there, like, oh, people might be offended or somebody might think, like, who are you to not want to struggle? You know what I mean? Like, that's part of being a grown-up. That's part of taking care of your business. And hey, Chris. Hey, Key, in and out, but here to boost. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate both of you. Tell her I said hey. I miss her. So that being said, now that I'm in this part of my journey where I'm starting to get more visibility, where I'm starting, and because I've been working at this, and even from a kid, let me kind of go back, even as a child, when I would play my make-believe games, like I said, I wasn't really sitting and thinking about, oh, my prince is going to come and save me and I want to get married and I have this type of wedding. People gave me an entrepreneurship or a business, I forget what it was called. It was like a play set, and it gave you like a little cardboard Rolodex thing, and I had like business ledgers and all these like administrative things, but it was a toy. Like, it was literally a toy. It was a play set for an entrepreneur. That was what I was into. You know what I mean? And so now that I'm getting older and we've reached this information age where anybody can pretty much be a mogul if they have a smartphone and a story or something, I'm in my element. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually doing the thing that I have a penchant for and that I'm interested in. And I'm able to take all my different talents and all my different skill sets and combine them into one thing that is intrinsically me. But now I'm in that phase where I want it to pay off. You know what I mean? Like, I work and I have worked regular jobs, but I want to be able to have the freedom to focus on the things that are important to me, as opposed to prioritizing the interest of an entity or a business owner just so that I thank you for the super chat theme, Miss. I actually want to talk about that, like super chats and stuff. I want to be able to focus on the stuff that's important to me instead of building my life. I used to call it living my life in the margins. So basically, there's a sheet of lined paper. You have the regular part of the paper where you write your notes, where you write all the important stuff that you either need to remember or you need to show off to a teacher or something like that. And then in the margins is my real life. That's the time I'm spending with my kids. That's the time I'm spending, pampering myself. The time I'm spending with friends. You're planning trips and things around work. You're planning school stuff around work. You're always doing everything around these obligations that you have to these other entities, and the only reason you're even dealing with them is because you need money to live. And I want to break free of that, and I think everybody does. It is not something that's unique to me. I think everybody does, but I'm talking about that trepidation and that of actually, and how do I turn this off? I have on the computer, my phone is connected to my, here's settings. Give me 1 second, y'all, because these Discord, these Discord notifications are killing me. Let me see, notifications. I'm gonna turn the notifications off just for a second, just while I'm doing this, right? Thank you for the super sticker. So anyway, and this isn't my first time at the rodeo in terms of making prices for things, because I did do hair. I am a licensed cosmetologist, so I did work in salons. I have worked freelance. I have worked at like a concierge service of going to people's houses and stuff like that. And why I ultimately wound up quitting that business is because, hey everybody, Tiff, Kenny, welcome. The reason I stopped was because I got to a point where I recognized that I wasn't comfortable with charging what I probably would need to charge in order to feel like it was worth my time, if I'm being quite honest. And the reason that I felt that, I won't say the reason that I felt that, but part of that contribution to that was that even when I was charging ridiculously low prices, like they were still low prices, I would get this pushback from people. And I didn't realize until like later on when I looked at like the psychology of it is when you're in the marketplace, just like these guys are talking about marketplace value and blah, 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 blah. It really comes down to how much that person values you, whether or not they'll pay what you offer. But it's up to you, or pay what you require. But it's up to you to set the price. And the problem was me. I am not saying that, people didn't have their own stuff going on. But basically, there was an incongruence between what I was charging or what I felt comfortable charging and what people wanted to pay. And what I realized was because as a industry professional, I knew that my prices were way below what, the top prices were and even the moderate prices were. But there were some people that I was marketing to that just didn't feel like they should have to pay me that. I also understood that, and it had nothing to do with my skill level, because they saw the level of what I could do. But it was my trepidation of even charging what I was charging, along with their a schism in how they viewed me. Because I don't know if there's any of you who have ever done a service or sold things or whatever. Yes, yesterday's price is not today's price. Of course, as always, I have a story. So, like I said, I had my license. I got my license in 2008. I got my hair license. And so I was working in different salons and stuff. I was assisting. I was going here. I was going there. It got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just work for myself. I'm going to do like a concierge service. So I'll come to your house. I'll do your hair, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I was doing that for a while. And like I said, I I wasn't comfortable with charging over a certain level. And that was a me thing. But what that was doing to me was I was overworking myself for not enough money. So I was always like behind the 8 ball. So that made me inconsistent with it because I was like, look, I gotta work regular jobs. You know what I mean? So basically it was like literally a side hustle, and that's what it was for years. So then 2016, I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make a business out of this. I'm going to get my LLC. So that's where Minx Beauty LLC came from. So I got my LLC. Mind you, I got my LLC. I have student loans for going to school, cosmetology school. I'm invested, and I'm not just somebody that's just doing hair. I'm a licensed professional. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start thinking of myself like that. So there was a woman that lived in my neighborhood. Materials are expensive. Yes. There's a woman that lived in my neighborhood that knew me from when we was growing up and stuff like that. And she saw my social media and stuff. So like I said, she saw what I could do. Now she could do her own hair. She would do her own hair. But one day she saw me out in the street. She was just like, oh, I want to get you to do my hair. Now here's the thing. In her mind, because like I said, she do her hair and she did her hair well. She wore the same style all the time, but she was like an expert at it. She probably could do it in a half hour or less. She could get the straight bang in the like 14-inch hair. And it was a full weave or whatever. But she cute. It was her look. And so she was like, oh, I want to come get you to do my hair. I said, okay. She asked me how much it cost. And I told her, and mind you, for what she was talking about, I think I said $100. Now, this was in 2013, maybe 2014 or 15. By that time, they had the $50 weaves and stuff like that at the places, but also people was paying hundreds of dollars and stuff a week. My point is, I was nowhere near even the middle of what pricing for something like that could be. And I remember her standing there like haggling with me, just basically kind of saying like, isn't that a little too expensive? I'm like, no, I'm coming to your house. So that's my time. I'm using my stuff. I'm doing all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, and I got student loan. And I realized, later on that wasn't even a conversation to be had. Right. But where it came from was this place within me where I felt insecure. Like, am I asking? Because I'm not just thinking about, look, this is what I feel like it takes to, or this is what I feel like is a reasonable price for me to do this service for you or whatever. I'm factoring in, oh, you know what? How much does she make? And we are living in the hood, and they probably used to paying this and that and the other. And like, I'm factoring in all this stuff that has nothing to do with what do you want to charge? Like, what do you want to charge? You know what I mean? That's it. And that's it. You either want it or you don't. But like I said, I've gone through that so much within myself. So I know that it is an issue. That's not just something that we deal with as a community. And it ain't even just a gender on it. Just as a community, we deal with pricing and expectation and posturing around earning and receiving and things like that. So I wanted to talk about it, which is funny because of was it last night? Yeah, last night's live. Boy, when we're talking about, wealth building and just money things, there's a clear disconnect between women's financial literacy and men's financial literacy. And I feel like that's because as women, I'm going to attempt to be fair just a little bit. Don't get used to it. Don't think that this is what this is going to be. But I'm attempt to be fair just a little bit. Yes, there are certain graces that women get within society when it comes to, how we are treated and what's expected of us and what is acceptable for us to do. But yet that always goes back to that's patriarchy's fault, and that's people who uphold patriarchy's fault, whatever. Themis says, it's fair to consider the finance of the population you are serving. I wish there wasn't so much guilt, though. I see it in you all the time. And the thing about it is, for me, as someone who, like I said, was in the industry for years, what I saw was, it ain't that our people won't give it. because this is the issue that I have in this situation with what I'm about to say is the same issue I have when it comes to men talking about marketplace value and who's worth what and this and that and the other. You ain't got to give me what I think I deserve, right? You are not obligated. But what you're not going to do is require me to lower my expectation of what I'm going to receive from you when I know for a fact that you'll give it to somebody else. If you're not going to give me your best or the best or whatever, that's fine. But you're not going to give me pennies. You're not going to give me your ass to kiss. You're not going to give me bullshit. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to accept less because you feel like I deserve less. That's the difference for me. When it comes to our community, we spend. We are the biggest spenders. People come from other countries and set up shop to serve us because they know we going to give them that money. So when I hear, yes, and my knee-jerk reaction is to go, oh, my community, I don't want to, But I'll see the same people spending and, like I said, not paying bills, not doing what they need to do to floss. You get what I'm saying? You'll see people that don't want to pay this person that they know can do the same level of work or better because they know that person too. But this person who they don't know, who they think is close to this celebrity or whatever like that, who don't even do that good of a job, they'll do whatever they got to do just to sit in their waiting area. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to play that game. And that's why I just kind of bowed out. I do what I feel like doing when it comes to hair and makeup here and there. And it's not a thing. It's just like, look, I know, again, it's a me thing because I'm a little iffy about my energy as far as what I'm saying I deserve. So that being said, in my bio, in the bio? Yes, I put it in the bio. In the bio this week, I have added my CASHAPP. So, that is what it is. Do with it what you will. Like I said, I ain't going to push you. I ain't going to beg you. And I ain't going to demand that of you. But I'm going to set it there because that's a step in the direction for me of being willing to request of the universe what I want and position myself to be able to receive what it is that I desire. That's what I'm going to say about that. Yes, you can't negotiate with Gucci or Louis either, and they don't. And they don't worry about negotiating, and it's not even a question. You get what I'm saying? Like, whenever we talk about, we want to help the community. If I see somebody who every aspect of their life, you see them trying to make it work. You know what I mean? Those are the people I'm just going to be like, I'll wind up being like, don't worry about it. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's how deep I am with it. Don't worry about it. If I see that you just always trying to do and this and that and the other, I won't even worry about it. But if I see you doing the most in other areas, but you think you're going to pay me pennies, no, you can keep that. You can keep that. Valerie TV says, I've had people come to my house when I was younger and now say, wow, you really have a nice home. It's utter disbelief on their faces. Yep. Yeah, monetize your energy. That and that's really, we're going to get into all of that today. So I also, because I want to talk about family dynamics too. Like I've mentioned before, I come from a matriarchy. Like it is a matriarchy. It is what it is. But being that I come from a matriarchy, what I didn't realize was there are certain expectations of me as a mother now, as someone who, kind of carrying that mantle of how specifically I'm supposed to provide and conduct my business as a mother and a woman. And I had a lot of friction with my elder family women because I was always very resistant to the ways that what you sipping on? I was very resistant to the ways that it seemed I was expected to conduct myself because I was just kind of sitting back and looking and just like, okay, I see what you're doing. I get where you're coming from, but I also see the toll it's taking on you. So is there another way that I can do, you know what I mean? Like, and actually applying myself to looking for other ways to make things happen. And that's how, like I said, from a child, I've been of an entrepreneurial mindset, not necessarily knowing what that thing was going to be, but just knowing like, I want to have a business. I want to be a businesswoman, you know, in a general sense. So as I'm getting older, not having mentors, not having anyone around me that I can put my hand on and say, okay, I know you walk this path. Can you kind of guide me and tell me what I need to do from my vantage point here? Having to kind of throw myself at the wall, not just throw something at the wall and see what sticks. Having to throw myself at the wall, slide down or roll down like one of them little jelly things and flop on the floor. Yeah, oh yeah, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nia. Happy birthday to you. I didn't think about that. So I bet you everybody's going to be expecting me to sing happy birthday. And I'll do it. And I will do it. But happy birthday, Nia. I'm so happy you're here with me. I hope you're having that. That explains why you're tipsy. We did talk about that earlier. But yeah, so I wanted to find a way that was just less of a toll on me. And I can distinctly remember feeling disapproval. You know what I mean? From the people that I love the most. And feel, oh, thank you. I wasn't sure when. I knew it was going to come because I do like to sing. I wasn't sure when that was going to happen. I was going to wind up singing to you guys, but I knew one day it was going to happen. So I'm glad it was for Nia. If Erica comes, I will sing again because I know it's her birthday too. Valerie said, yes, of course you're making content that takes time, and that work time is money. Oh, thank you for saying that too, because I almost forgot. Also in the bio, I started a Patreon. I'm going to share. It's a tab. Yeah. I started a Patreon. Why? Because when I was thinking of like what, this is my Patreon. So this is on there. It says no matter the skin color or continent, dudes going to do what they do. This was really a stream with a messy twist towards the end. So this is in, let me go back up. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. This is Patreon, y'all. Link is in the bio. I have 3 membership tiers. So it's, where are they? Come on. I cut everything out so that it would go. So Build Your Boundaries is $3 per month. Those videos that are there, I have 2 from when I used to do my Instagram lives. There's 2 live streams I did. One with the white lady. She's actually from England, and she had read my book and we were talking about it, and it was just so interesting to me how she had wrote me this email where she was like, oh my God, you're basically killing me softly. This is my story. This resonates with me so much. What's special about that, what made me put it in the Patreon, was because when I talked to her, my oldest daughter's father's mom actually came, and then she had been to the lives before, but she started doing some things. So if you want to see that, that's in the Patreon. There's also another one with my oldest daughter's father's sister. So if you were interested in seeing like what that conversation was like as well, that's in the lowest tier of the Patreon. It's for $3. The second tier is the Refine Your Shine. I'm still kind of working it out, but if you do the Refine Your Shine, you'll get the Build Your Boundaries as well. And if you do the Birth Your Bag, because that's where all the money stuff. And I put, when I talked about those those videos I had packaged, that's in the Birth Your Bag tier. The Birth Your Bag tier is $10 a month. So if you pay $10 a month, you'll get everything. If you pay the $5 per month, you'll get Refine Your Shine and Build Your Boundaries. And if you do Build Your Boundaries, you'll get $3 per month. So just letting you guys know, because like I said, I'm moving through my discomfort in presenting what it is that I want and asking for what it is that I need, not just want, that I need. You know what I mean? Oh, good. I'm glad you feel the love. Yes, I do a little something. I did and I did. My YouTube, you guys are special to me too. Like I really, and like I've been going through some things behind the scenes for like the last few months. I don't want anybody to feel like, oh my God, but just general growing pains and energetic shifts and circle shifts and things like that. So it's really been a comfort and a respite for me to be able to interact with you guys in the different places. So I just want to take this time to thank you guys for that. Like you have brought that value to me, and I am forever grateful and just look at God. Look at God. So yeah. Mara, hello. How are you? So yeah, I did the Patreon. What else did I do? I think that's it. I can't remember. She said, I'll need y'all to talk me out of something that'll be in private. So okay, girl. Tiff says, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate every single one of you guys too. Like it makes me feel so good. I need to thank Summer as well, because Summer, Confidence, all of you guys really, but like those of you really say specifically like this, I needed this. That makes me feel so good, because for so long I was just being led by I guess God. Not that that's not a big deal, but I just was kind of like, I think this is needed, but I'm not sure. So it gives me purpose as well, and it makes me feel good. And that's a big part of what we're going to be talking about today too. So anyway, like I was saying, I had a disagreement with family members, because I remember this was before Level Up Single Mom. And this was during the reign of the six-figure chick. For those of you that know, if you know, the worlds that get it. May she rest in peace. But I remember being online. I'm just like, yeah, I can do that. That's what I want to do. But I didn't know necessarily, again, I didn't have the thing. You know what I mean? Whatever it was that I was going to be doing, I didn't have the thing. And so I remember I was going to just try to make an ebook, because they were saying like, oh, make ebooks. And this was in the very beginning of this whole internet expert rush, gold rush thing. You know what I mean? She was like one of the pioneers of monetizing what you know online and automation and all of that, and mailing lists, and like she was the Harriet Tubman of it, I feel like. And now I guess King Ashley Ann, she's another one. I never heard about her though until after Six-Figure Chick had passed away, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I remember I was like, I'm gonna make an ebook, and I made an ebook, and in fact, I'm gonna pull it up. Because I was proud of my little ebook, right? I was just like, oh, I'm not going to pull it up because it's going to take forever. If I was going to pull it up, I should have been pulled it up. But it was basically called The Leisurely Mogul, because I was just like, okay, like I say, I don't want to be doing things the same way that I've seen everybody else do things. Like I want to try and find a new way, a softer way, if you will, to achieve what it is I want to achieve. And I was like, I'll write an ebook about it. And I remember I was talking to this one particular family member, and she is the Being Mary Jane, what's her name? Mary Jane Paul from Being Mary Jane. She's like that type of archetype, right? She just has it. She's making by far the most money of anybody in our family. She's the one everybody runs to when stuff goes wrong. She's the handler of the family. And I was telling her about it. She was just like, You can't be leisurely and a mogul. Her whole thing is basically like, if you're not working hard, you're not working. And I was just like, I remember I pushed back on it, but I shelved it. You know what I mean? Like ultimately, and there were a lot of things that I just, because I didn't have the support, and it's not me trying to down talk anybody or make anybody a villain. I'm just saying, like, the reason I'm just kind of doing some things now is because I had to build up that muscle of blocking people out and just going with my gut. Because again, I don't have any personal reference that I can put my hand on. I didn't anyway. Mentors. I wound up getting some along the way, but at that time I didn't have any. So it was literally just a dream. And it can be hard. It can be hard to try to keep dreams going when you don't have anyone supporting them. Ooh, all this stuff is going in over. I got some stuff for y'all. You gonna like it, right? So anyway, I'm going to show you a clip because, like I said, it's a inconsistency between the paradigm that we know, or the idea, the concept of work that we've always been fed, that we've always seen, you know, we've absorbed subliminally, and that we just take for granted as being the truth of what work is and how it works for us and how we work within it and all of that. I want to show a clip. Let me pull it up of something. So this is a lady. I found her, I want to say like during the beginning of the pandemic, right? Her name is Dr. Venus Opal Reese. Now, you guys will probably recognize her face because people have been using her face, her videos, as an example of mammying lately. I feel bad for her because, just like I say when it comes to Kim from For Harriet, she's on a journey. This person, Kim's on a journey, and this person is on a journey too. And the thing is, I like people who are on journeys because they don't speak on things from a place of like, this is it, how it is. This is how it's always been. This is how it's always going to be. Don't question it. They speak more on, and I try to be like that too. It's less of a telling you what to think as showing you how to think type of thing. And it's applicable to you wherever you are within your journey and whatever you're trying to do. It's applicable, but it's also set up to evolve along with you. And if that doesn't make sense, please let me know. I'll try to do a better job of explaining it. But yeah, I like her. Like I said, her name is Dr. Venus Opal Reese. That I'm going to use is from her series. It was on Amazon. I don't know if it's still on Amazon. It was in like 2020 or 2021. But you should definitely check it out. I also have her book. I have her book right here. It's called Black Woman Millionaire. It is a good read. You see, I got my little things in it. Hold on. So I would definitely check her out. She is really, really, she seems like a very cool person and a very sweet person. And I think that you should get to know her. But yeah, she's on this new thing where now she's trying to mend relationships between Black women and Black men. And like, I'm not saying that I'm on that train, but I ain't mad at her for, conducting it. That's her business. You know what I mean? And the thing is, from her vantage point, now that she is out of that space of having to struggle, she has that privilege of being able to try to work on those type of problems. You know what I mean? Whereas those of us that are literally trying to carve out our survival may not have the bandwidth to be worried about that. You know what I I mean? And that's cool, and that's cool. And all of us have our part to play. Like, my part is I'm getting you to understand where you're at so that you can start making decisions about where you want to go and then go from there, right? With her, she's like, all right, now your money's together, but your love life might not be together. Your relationship with the divine masculine might not be together. And guess what? That's valid. That is valid. But when you back here, you ain't trying to hear that. And that makes absolute sense. You know what I mean? All's fair. Let me see. I want to go to 155. Okay. So let me share that screen. She said some of us want everyone to be loved, but it's not fair to push it on everyone. No, it's not fair to push it on everyone. But just like I said, like if I have something to offer, and just if she has something to offer and that's not your thing, I'm all about her with the getting your money together stuff. And when she started talking that, I said, yeah, I'm not the target audience for that. So I don't involve myself when it comes to that aspect of what she has to offer. But all right, so I'm going to share this. This is about, what does this say? So this is about strategy. She's talking about your strategy in terms of your hustle. And it's all going to tie together by the end of, all the, I have a lot of clips. I'm so excited. As it was coming together, I was like, ooh. So please excuse me.
I don't think of hustle as working hard. I think that's silly. I think you can work hard and never hustle day in your life. I'm masterful at strategy. And my strategy doesn't look like strategy. That's what makes it masterful. That's the game. If someone can see that you are moving them, influencing them, impacting them, then that's not strategy. Okay, it's sort of like marketing. Good marketing doesn't feel like marketing at all. It feels like it's your idea. That's when you know it works. Your results, actions, and manifestations correlate. Everybody say correlate to your internal state. Simply put, you will never out-earn your self-image. Let me show you what I mean. Bam! Here's where it gets good, ladies. So it's survival-based self-image sabotage. What got you here won't get you there. Any independent women in the room, holler at your girl. You're independent? Okay, perfection. Well, your survival strategy is to do it yourself. Is that fair to say? Okay, great. The problem is because you do it yourself, you burn out. You're tired all the time. And the thing is, here's the challenge. Even if you got people who support you, they can't do it as good as you. So you would actually pay somebody to do it for you and don't tell them.
I was talking my behind off, okay? And nobody told me. And nobody told me I was on mute, but that's all right. That's all right. Now all the messages are coming in. But anyway, that when I haven't watched that since like the end of 2020, early 2021 or something, I think. And that clip alone was so relevant to, like I said, the conversation that I was just talking about with the person who didn't believe in my idea about the leisurely mogul, which now, is that not the wave? Is it not the wave of, be a millionaire from your cell phone, be a millionaire from working wherever, take your laptop with you? Leisurely moguldom is the new reality, right? But at that time, if I could have got in before the wave, I just needed a little support. We could have all been living different. But anyway, like I said, she's talking about how the concept of work, and that's why this is her book, like I said, The Black Woman Millionaire by Dr. Venus Oprah Reese. In it, she talks about the energetic nature of money and currency and all of that stuff, and help you in a similar way Yeah, sometimes people can't see your vision, and that is okay. Because if I had took that route, I probably wouldn't have found this route, or at least not in the same way. And I really love what this is. So, it's always got all paths lead to where they need to go, right? But the same way that in this, I try to help us to navigate the energetic mechanisms behind the experiences we're having and everything. That's what she does with this book here. So in that, she's saying like your strategy in terms of educating yourself and making money and hustle and influencing people and stuff like that, it's about your energy. It's not necessarily about what you do. And like I said, as Black people, we have, because of the legacy of slavery and that being ingrained into our very selves, we just have an association with what you get from what you do and doing, earning and doing, and not just earning money, earning your space, earning the right to take up space. You get what I'm saying? Like not even feeling comfortable being without doing and things like that. And I recognize that as a daily minute to minute struggle for me specifically. And that makes it hard. And then when we're talking about, that's just within my own self. But then you want to talk about, like I was talking about, interpersonal relationships. And that was between me and, one of the matriarchs of my family. Then you want to add in even more complications of the other gender. You know what I mean? And then even more complications of the other gender who is a romantic prospect, or that looks at you as a romantic. So as you saw in the thumbnail, I had a picture of the cast of the more recent revival. I think it was like 2008 or something, of A Raisin in the Sun. And I remember having to read and watch A Raisin in the Sun in school and stuff like that. And I don't think I had much of an opinion about it at that time. But as I was watching the clips and stuff for this live, I was just like, ooh, this is so relevant and real even today. It is still the story. You know what I mean? It's what's going on. So for those who may not be familiar with A Raisin in the Sun, and I have clips from two different versions of it. I prefer the black and white version with Sidney Poitier and Ruby Dee. But we also have clips. The majority, I think, of the clips are from the Diddy version. It's horrible. He's a horrible actor. But Diddy, Felicia Rashad is the mother. Audra McDonald, I think that's her name, as his wife, and Sanaa Lathan as his sister. So, and a funny part is, I think Lorraine Hansberry wrote it, I believe, and I think Lorraine Hansberry was the sister in the black and white version. So that's just an interesting little tidbit. I wish V Carter was here, because me and her are supposed to get together. And if you do see this, V Carter, please know I am not ignoring you. I am trying to get my life, but we're going to talk, because we're going to do that thing. I'm in a flux right now. Diddy is a terrible in a lot of ways. Listen. All I'm saying is Jesus. We had to expect that those dream small can't think. But that's the thing, like, it ain't even a thing of that person dreaming small. It's just, like I say, when people have a certain belief system about how things are supposed to happen, they can't abide, even if their conscious recognition or their conscious stance is that they love you and they support you and you're cool. That subconscious part of them is never going to let you do something in a way that spits in the face of what that part of them holds to be true. You know what I mean? Is an ego death type of thing. So it can be, but it can get in the way, like I said, of really good relationships and loving relationships and things like that. It's definitely something we all can go through. But like I said, this story, A Raisin in the Sun, there's a family. The patriarch has died. Since the patriarch died, I don't remember if he died in an accident or if he just died. I feel like he died in an accident though. And it was the patriarch, the matriarch, their son, their daughter, the son's wife, and the son's son living in an apartment. And so the father dies. He has insurance money or a pension or something coming. And the son wants to flip the money. He has this scheme. And we'll get into it. But bottom line is the son has plans for the money. The mother's got standards as for how she wants the money to be spent or what types of things she wants to spend the money on. And so his plans for the money don't necessarily fit into her morals, and hijinks ensue. So let me go ahead and pull up. Imagine someone saying, this thing is not pulling. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the thingy. I don't want to find out why I'm having interruptions. I'm good. Oh, you know what? I do need to know why I'm having interruptions. Sorry for yelling at y'all, but I'm not plugged into the Ethernet. I'm surprised I got this far, Jesus. Without being plugged into the Ethernet, because sometimes I be going through it even when I am plugged into the Ethernet. So this is part. Come on now. I'm going to check while this is doing this thing. Valerie says, imagine someone saying we can fly to the moon years. Exactly. Like there's so many things that you couldn't, people believed you couldn't do. And that was just the flat out belief. And it took people saying, I want to challenge that. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. Please excuse my hair. This is another reason why I just was like, I'm not coming on camera. I didn't feel like doing everything. Like, I just didn't feel like doing everything. She said the sun was awful. She got a house. Yeah, listen, we're going to get into all of that. She says, imagine people saying we're communicating on a small device. Okay, I say this all the time. The future is now. The future is now, because we were just like, just what, 35 years ago or so, 30, 40 years ago. Life looked completely different. What we take for granted now was just kind of like an anomaly. Like, oh, you got one of them things that's going to fry your brain. You know what I mean? This is the one. Okay, so like I said, they're going to get money. They're supposed to be getting money. Let me put this on mute because I don't want it's going to play a thing. And I don't want it to come through. And the son has his own ideas about how the money should be spent. And is it going to? This thing is killing me, y'all. I can't wait. There's another reason why I got to start monetizing stuff. I need new equipment. This ain't working for me. Like I have a perfectionist spirit, which is another part of the reason why it took me so long to actually get started. Because I was just like, I felt like I needed to be own studios before I even got started. So when stuff like this is happening, it is killing me. Let me see. It's still taking forever. I'm gonna check on some more of your comments. She said, I feel like all of us are a new YouTube wave. Tabitha Brown and Jackie Ina's success is coming. Oh, yep. To me, it's actually exciting now. Before it was surreal. Like, if I let me take you guys back. Picture this, right? I'm sitting in my bed and I'm watching Themis, and I think I was like eating something or drinking something, and I don't have no pants on, and just chilling, right? And then Themis is like, "Oh, Vitamin, I got your book," and he starts talking, and I'm just like bawling my eyes out because I was at that point I was watching him for months, and I'm just like, I look up to him. I really love what he's doing, and he's like a what's that called? Like a real personality for me. You know what I mean? And to have him, it was, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just so surreal. But now that I've actually got into the doing of building the platform, and well, I was building the platform before, but I was doing it on Instagram. But like building the platform on YouTube has always been aspirational for me. And now it's just like I'm looking at him, I'm looking at everybody coming up. You know what I mean? Like when you would see Debbie Allen different places, and you will always see the same people within certain friend groups in Hollywood and in different industries and stuff. When you saw one person, it wasn't too long before you started seeing the other people that you knew were associated with them. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it feels like. And I'm so excited. I'm really excited. What y'all saying over here? Thank you so much, Valerie. She says, I love this platform. Oh, I love his, yeah, he really, can I just say he classed up the joint. Because it was a little, like, aside from watching completely different documentaries and stuff like that, when you were watching the Black people, it was just kind of like, what, girl, what is it? It was just mess. It was nothing but mess. And like, it's still messy, but it brings a certain air of intellectualism that I greatly appreciate. And it was like, thank you. It was like I was parched. Okay, I was in the desert just about to die, and then here he comes with this cool drink of water. Valerie TV says, I have a mic and everything. You better have one with TV in your name. We're waiting. That's what Rizal said. We're excited for you. Thank you for allowing us to journey with you. But thank you for coming along. You know, if it wasn't I'm about to sing it because I finally discovered TikTok. Like, I knew it was there, but I was like, I refuse. And I finally went ahead and dived into TikTok. So it was basically like, everybody roll in an ambulance car. That's what it was like, right? It was just wow. Woo. Let me see. Can I skip this yet? It's taking forever, guys. When I go back and watch this, I always go back and watch my things. It's interesting to me. It might be an ego thing. I don't know, but it's like because I like watching YouTube. I like watching myself on YouTube too. Like I'll just put it on, like I would put on Erica or somebody. I'll be laughing at everything. It's a mess. I'm a mess. I know. Let's see. We're finally gonna come up. I swear it's almost here. What y'all doing over here? She said, okay, so you booked to sing at her second wedding. I like to be in the beginning and stuff as well because as we can see, there's a change when the masses start catching on the stuff. So you get stuff. And he said, okay, but you can sing. Child, wait, what day? I told Themis this long behind story about a bunch of other stuff that had nothing to do with me singing. And then he was like, so what you're saying is you can sing. I hope he's still here. I remember that to this day. I told this whole story. And he was like, so what you're saying is you can sing. I'm like, that's what you got out of what I said? Let's see here. Okay, so this finally started playing, but now I gotta stop it and get where I want to go with it because wait, don't tell me I didn't do the times. It's fine. It's fine. We can just watch the whole clip. Honestly, the clip is like 9 minutes and 43 seconds. I'm going to be stopping it though in the midst of it playing and stuff because I don't got time for them cutting my stuff off again like they did that first time when I really just thought I was doing things. So I'm going to unmute it and then I'm going to share it. Okay. Yeah, then I'm going to share it.
If it wasn't for y'all, I'd just put that money away or give it to the church or something.
Oh, what kind of talk is that? Mr. Young would be just plain mad if he could hear you talking foolish like that.
Yes, he would, wouldn't he? Oh, we got plenty to do with that money, all right. Where'd you go today, girl?
To the doctor.
Now, Ruth, you know better than that. Old Dr. Jones is peculiar in his way, but ain't nothing about him to make nobody slip and call him she like you done this morning.
Well, it's just what happened. My tongue slipped.
You went to that woman, didn't you?
What woman you talking about?
That woman up the street that takes money from women for doing things that she ain't got. What are you doing home at this hour? And can't you give people a Christian greeting?
Oh, Kenny, you can't hear. Dang it. That's as loud as that thing gets too. So, what I'm trying to, or what's happened so far is Ruby D, that's the younger woman, was making a call to someone about a shishmortion. She was inquiring about a shishmortion because she is with child, and that is his mother. And she's deducing, figuring out what she was doing because I guess she was trying to keep it a secret. Meanwhile, like I said, everybody knows this money is supposed to be coming. The reason she's calling about a shishmortion is because, they poor. They're poor. They already have one child. I think the child is sleeping on a sofa or a pallet. So, they're making it work like families do. But the grandmother is old school. And she came from a time when she wasn't probably even free, or she was just one foot into slavery or in sharecropping or something like that. You know what I mean? So she's just happy to be able to make her own way. And like I said, her husband just died, but she's just grateful that he worked so hard and diligently for his family. And now they have that money coming, and she's just like, I'm going to honor his memory by doing something to better the family as a whole and something that is worthy of his his good name and all of that. And then we have the son coming in, and he is young. He's youngish. I think he said he was like 30 or something. I would love to. Girl, don't get me to sing in Grease, okay? I would love to play Rizzo as well. Y'all talk about musicals and stuff. She said, don't make me schedule a Hamilton, School Days, My Fair Lady. Oh my God, I remember. See, now you got me talking about other movies. I remember My Fair Lady. I showed it to the baby, and the baby was like, he's being mean to her. Why doesn't she get her own house? She was like 5 or 6 at the time, but she was watching it and she was interested. She was just like, he's being really mean to her. Like, she should just get her own house. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so now he comes in, he's looking for the money. Kenny, I don't know what to do. This is literally as loud as it gets. I'm hoping that we can move through this and maybe you'll get to hear some of it, but I don't know. I'm sorry.
Willie Harris put everything on paper, Mama. The lawyer just looked it over and
Son, I think you ought to have a talk with your wife. Now go on out and leave your home if you want.
I can talk to her anytime.
Son,
Mama, will somebody listen to me today?
I don't know yell in this house, Wallaly, and you, and there ain't gonna be no investing in liquor stores, and I do not aim to have to see on it again.
You haven't even looked at it. You haven't even looked at it, and you don't even have to speak on it again?
Since it paused itself, I'm going to take this moment to talk about it, catch you up on what's going on if it's not clear for anybody. So he comes in looking like a crazy person. He has some papers in his hand. Those papers, him and a friend has a business opportunity that they want to invest the money in, which is a liquor store. And like I said, the mother is old school. She's just like, we're not those kind of people. My dead husband's, his blood, sweat, tears is not going into something like that. He's just not, and he's not having it. He's just like, you're not even going to look at it. You're not even going to consider it. She's like, no, like, we're not doing that. And so that's where we are right now. Said Diddy, we gonna get to Diddy, Jazzy. We are gonna get to Diddy. It was on television. He better not have took that shit show to Broadway. That was horrible. Oh my god! When I was watching the clips, for this, I was just like, oh my god, Sean, why? If you wasn't Diddy, woo, Jesus, whose idea was that?
Mommy, you haven't even looked at it. You haven't even looked at it, and you don't even have to speak on it again? Well, you tell that to my boy, Ty, when you put him to sleep on the living room couch. You tell it to him in the morning when his mother goes out here to take care of somebody else's kids. And tell it to me when we want some curtains or some drapes and you sneak out of here and go work in somebody's kitchen. All I want is to make a future for this family. All I want is to be able to stand in front of my boy like my father never was able to do to me and tell him that he'll be somebody in this world besides a servant and a chauffeur. Huh? You see that here?
Where you going?
All right, is it still frozen? Let me know if it's frozen, guys, because it took a long time for the clip to start moving again, but everything is moving again, at least for now. So let me know if it's not, if you need to do a reset or something like that. But so far, he's guilting her, and you saw her face change when he said, I want to be able to stand in front of my son like my dad wasn't able to do for me. And she turned around like, no, come on now. Because like I said, in her mind, her husband was a good, honorable provider. And you'll see in the clip later on, it'll be Felicia Rashad, though, playing the same role as the mother. But you'll see the regard that she holds for her husband, her late husband, right? YouTube is playing in our faces. I'm trying to be great right now. Like, I'm trying to bring class and sophistication, okay? Production value. But he basically kind of tried to play his late father, who is the reason that they're getting this money in the first place, to say like, oh, I just want to be, I want to be somebody, and I want to be able to tell my son he could be somebody like my dad wasn't able to. And you saw her face change, like, what?
Where?
Just out of this house.
I'll come with you.
I don't want you.
I have something to talk to you about, Walter.
It's too bad.
Wally, sit down.
I am a grown man, Mama.
Anybody said you wasn't grown, but you are still in my house in my presence. And as long as you are, you talk to your white civil. Now sit down.
I'll let him go on out and drink himself. You make me sick to myself.
Well, you turned mine too, baby. That was my biggest mistake.
Walter Lee, what is the matter with you?
There's nothing the matter with me.
Yes, there is. There's something that's eating you up like a crazy man. Something more than me not giving you this money. The past few years, I've been watching it happen to you. You get all nervous acting and kind of wild in the eyes. I said sit there now.
I don't need your nagging at me today. How's that?
Seems like you always tied up in some kind of knot or something. But if anybody asks you about it, you just yell at them and bust out of the house somewhere and go get drunk. Walter Lee people cannot live with that. Is a nice Asian girl in her way, but you are getting to be too much. Boy, don't you make the mistake of driving that girl away from you.
What she ever do for me?
She loves you.
Mama, I got it.
Just one thing for us to do.
Shut up! Listen, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so relevant. It's so relevant even today, right? Period, Tiff. Period. Like, first of all, when we're talking about the dynamics of this story in general, the mother is getting money, right? The mother is getting money. The father was a working class man. He had, I think, like a factory job or something. I want to say he died. I want to say it was like an accident. Like, he didn't just keel over and die. I think he had an accident or something. So they got like insurance money or pension or something. It came off of his death. And you have this man who is now the man of the house, and he's coming in throwing his weight around. That's her money. That's her and husband's money. You get what I'm saying? And she has every right to say what's being done with it. And he's coming and giving everybody an attitude. His wife that he brought up in there, with his child. He's using his child to try to get to her because he knows that she's going to work. Like when I say and that's what I'm talking about with these dynamics of these let's get into it. I'm talking about the dynamics of the household. She said, Lord, I had to put my glasses on. Yes. It's called A Raisin in the Sun. It's called A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. Life repeating. Art imitates life. Life repeating. The mother is hated by the black son, never being enough. Yeah, this was, like I said, I could not appreciate it when I had to read it and watch it and stuff in school because I was a kid. That was before I knew Lord. That was before I knew child. It was right in my face, and that was before I knew. But you see the way he's acting. He don't got no patience for nobody. He don't want to listen to nothing. Like I said, the wife is trying to tell him she's pregnant. He ain't got time to listen to her. And mind you, what's really interesting, you got to watch this movie. What's really, really interesting about it is the wife in this movie, when we're talking about the dynamics of men talking about women don't respect men and this and that and the other, this movie is a perfect example of why. It's a perfect example of when they're talking about they want traditional values and they want traditional women. His mom is what you would call a traditional woman. She speaks to her husband in the highest regard. But what she speaks about her husband is his values. She speaks about her husband, and you're going to see it in this clip here when she talks about her husband and what her husband would do in a situation that he finds himself in. It's been a while. I haven't touched this since like high school and maybe even middle school. You know what I mean? Like it was a long, long time ago. She said, I'm going to have to watch this. And, Sidney Poitier was a good, like I wish I could have found more Sidney Poitier clips, but we got Diddy. I apologize. That's all we got. But luckily, he's surrounded by actors of a certain caliber, and the source material was so good. I won't say you can forget he's there, but it's enough of a story for you to just hold on to that. Just latch on to that, okay? Just follow me here. But you see, he can't get right, and she's saying to him right now, like, you've been acting crazy for a long time. Like, what's wrong with you? We can't live like this. You're being horrible to us. You know what I mean? Like, whatever's going on with you is affecting your ability to be a functioning, safe part of this family. And so now he's going to tell you different generations, same problems. Girl. Okay. So now he's going to get into, his perspective and everything.
Now that's what I wanted to tell you about. It's dangerous, son. When a man goes outside his house to look for peace.
Well, how come there can never be no peace in this house?
You done found it in some other house.
Why do you always have to think there's a woman's? It's a woman somewhere when a man. Mama, I want so many things. I want so many things that sometimes I think they're gonna drive me crazy. See, I'm 35 years old and I ain't got nothing. I ain't gonna be nothing, Mama. Just look at me. Look at me.
I'm looking at you. And you a good-looking boy. You got a job, a fine wife, a son.
A job. Now, I open and close car doors all day. I drive a man around in his limousine and I say yes. Mama, I want so many things. I want so many things that sometimes I think they're gonna drive me crazy. See, I'm 35 years old and I ain't got nothing. I ain't gonna be nothing, Mama. Just look at me. Look at me.
I'm looking at you. And you a good-looking boy. You got a job, a fine.
I keep pausing it because it seems like it's skipping, like it's moving the picture away from the sound. So I'm trying to see if I can get it. I don't know why it's doing it because it did do that earlier. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it back. When men don't want to see you, they can be violent, sometimes dangerous. Yes. In fact, I'm going to take a little bit of a detour. So, for those who... Oh, no, I'll do that. I'm not going to take a detour. I'm playing it from YouTube. I don't know how to download from YouTube. Can you do that? I'll be wanting to. Lord knows I'll be wanting to, because this would be a lie. But this is from... I'm playing it from YouTube. Yeah, let me dive back in and see.
Wife or son,
A job. Now I open and close car doors all day.
She loves you.
Mama, I gotta go out. Now I gotta go out and be by myself.
Son, I am sorry about your liquor store, but it just wasn't a thing for us to do. Now that's what I wanted to tell you about. It's dangerous, son.
What's dangerous?
When a man goes outside his house to look for peace.
Well, how come there can never be no peace in this house?
You done found it in some other house.
Why do you always have to think there's a woman somewhere when a man... Mama, I want so many things. I mean, I want so many things that sometimes I think they're gonna drive me crazy. See, I'm 35 years old and I ain't got nothing. I ain't gonna be nothing, Mama. Just look at me. Look at me.
I'm looking at you. And you a good-looking boy. You got a job, a fine wife, a son.
A job. Now I open and close car doors all day. I drive a man around in his limousine and I say, yes, sir. And no, sir. And shall I take the drive, sir? Mama, that ain't no job. That ain't nothing at all. I don't even know if I can make you understand.
Understand what, baby?
Well, sometimes it's like I can see my future just stretched out in front of me, my whole future. A big blank. But it don't have to be. Sometimes when I'm downtown driving that man around, we pass them cool, quiet-looking restaurants. I look in.
I'm just stopping it to keep them from cutting me off, because I could get caught up in stuff, and then next thing you know, we got to start the live stream all over again. No sir, no sir.
I see these white boys. They sit talking about deals worth millions of dollars, Mama, and half the time they don't look no older than me.
Oh, son, how come you talk so much about money?
Because it's life.
Ooh. So now money is life. Once upon a time, freedom used to be life, but now it's money.
Mama, it was always money. We just didn't know it.
No. Something's changed. You're something new, boy.
Didn't I just say that? So, like I said, she's coming from a time period where all they wanted was freedom. You know, they wanted to be free. They wanted to be able to work for themselves, for their own betterment, for their own survival, as opposed to everything that they get going to somebody else, going to build someone else's home, going to build someone else's legacy, going to build someone else's fortune, or support someone else outside of their family. And so now that they've gotten to this place where they're comfortable, and she's feeling like, okay, this should be enough. This is more than enough. This is everything we ever dreamed of. We being her and her husband. We have this young man who now, through his privilege that he doesn't realize he has, is saying, this is not enough for me. I don't think he got to that other part yet. She said he is. Yes, girl. Mind you, I mean, yeah, I had gotten to, because I had this clip, but I had it with Diddy. But then when I found this one, I said, we watching this one because, oh, girl, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep saying every time I think about it, like, but yet he is acting like this. When I tell you, you got to watch this one. You got to, if you can find it. It's actually on YouTube. The whole movie's on YouTube. You got to buy or rent it, but it is on there. It says the average man does not want to be average. They get angry at us on the outside, but they are angry at us. Yeah, and that's what she was saying. She's like, something's wrong with you. And he's, you know, and mind you, I want to be clear. It's not that I don't understand his struggle in terms of, you know, wanting to be more and have more and be able to afford more to his child, afford more to his wife, and even to his mother. I get that. as a woman, as a person of the new age of anybody can get it. You know what I mean? Anybody can do it. Anybody can make it happen. I know that frustration myself. But it's the way he is interacting with the people around him who he's literally dependent on. He's literally dependent on this woman giving him her whole fortune of her life. That's probably the most money she's ever going to see at one time in her life. She's all woman. And he's giving her attitude. Sydney is giving a performance. He's giving, listen, they don't make it like, well, I mean, I can't say there are some good actors, but like the time of this level of just everything, I don't know, child. It's few and far between. You know what I mean? Like this is quality. This is quality. That's why I want to class up the joint. The average man is angry at himself, and that's what I'm saying. Self-actualization is something we never attain. That's what I'm talking about. And the interesting thing about like this text and this movie, this media is, first of all, Level Up Social Mom. The main thing I say in it is I'm trying to help single mothers clear out all the clutter so that they can self-actualize. Like that's literally in my mission statement, is to clear out all the junk that's going on that we're being bombarded with to make a clear path to self-actualization. But it's actually about giving yourself permission to think the thoughts you need to think, to ask the questions you need to ask, to make the moves that you need to make without worrying about what everybody else is telling you could, should, be, do, or have, so that you can have the level of happiness within yourself that he is trying to achieve. So don't think that I don't get it, and don't think that I don't get it, you know, when it comes to the average man. See how Biggie's daughter gave her inheritance. Yeah. But again, this is all about different values, right? We might have to talk about that one day, because that's a whole nother bag of worms. She said you can't jump ahead. You have to live now in the moment. Like you have to have a vision for the future. But the thing about him, and somebody had mentioned orange pill earlier, and this is the thing about an orange pill and Walter Lee Younger. A part of his problem is the entitlement of manhood. This idea that these women are holding me back. Even when she was like, you having another baby, and he was like, basically like, F her. And she was like, why are you talking about her like that? Like, she loved you. He said, what has she ever done for me? So she's a hindrance to him too. Why? Because she keeps having babies, even though it's him impregnating her. We're going to get to that. In fact, this is the perfect time. What's the saying? They didn't get there yet. I'm going to get to that part. But just keep that in your mind, this idea of him being mad at her because she's pregnant and feeling like she's holding him back, right?
In my time, we was worried about not being lynched and getting to the north and how to stay alive and still have a pinch of dignity, too. Now, here come you and Benita talking about things we ain't hardly ever thought about, me and your daddy. You ain't satisfied or proud of nothing we done. I mean that you had a home and that we kept you out of trouble till you was grown, and that you don't have to ride to work on the back of nobody's streetcar. You're my children, but how different we've become.
You don't understand.
Son, don't you know your wife's expecting another baby? That's what she wanted to talk to you about. Helen, but I thought you ought to know. I think Ruth is thinking about getting rid of that child.
I'm just stopping right now because I'm not trying to get him no reason to cut me off. But also look at him with an attitude. Look at him with an attitude because she's pregnant. Look at his attitude because his wife that he's inserting his penis into her vagina is pregnant. He mad, shooting the club up. Exactly. Should just shoot the club up and down. He got an attitude. And she talk about, I just noticed the thumbnail for this. Yes. I figured that would get more people in. You know, you gotta be strategery with these thumbnails, right? She said, yes, Sydney to Diddy was a huge downgrade. Well, I saw another version they had. Danny Glover was playing this role. It was Danny Glover and Florence. What's her name? Florence. What's her name from Good Times? Like, everybody's played. This is one of those classics that you got to do. Just shooting up the club all willy-nilly. Yeah, like, what do you expect? Oh my God, I feel like that in my marriage. The thing they said they wanted soon becomes a hindrance, and what they despise, seeking infinite wealth to fill up an eternal loneliness. Lost. You need to be up here, Val, and I'm open when I get through all of this stuff. It's a lot of stuff. This might be a long one. Happy to swim in the ocean, but angry when you get what? Girl. Woo. Okay. Considering the role Diddy was probably that part, okay? That part.
No, she wouldn't do that.
When the world gets ugly enough, a woman will do anything for her family, the part that's already living.
You don't know a mommy, you think she'd do something like that?
Yes. Yes, I would too, Walter. I gave her a $5 down payment.
Well, son, I'm waiting to hear you say something. I'm waiting to hear how you be like your father, be the man that he was. Your wife said she's gonna destroy your child. And I'm waiting to hear you talk like your father and say that we're a people who give children life, not who destroys them. I'm waiting to see you stand up and look like your daddy and say that we done give up one baby to poverty and we ain't gonna give up and marry another one. I'm waiting. If you be a son of mine, you tell her. You're a disgrace to your father's memory.
Okay. Child, let's not even get into that. It was like that enrages me. Let me take that off the screen because I don't even want to talk about that. That enrages me when I think about that. But yeah, so I wanted to, and let me look for this too, because this goes into something. I don't know who all of you are following Deanne, but please follow Deanne Matthews. That's Deanne, DeeAnn, for anybody who's not already following her. And Matthews is with one T, MATHEWS. Because she did a really, really good, she does all her stuff is good. Like I watch her just to anchor myself in this crazy world. But she did this one, we're doing Bible study, and she was talking about how God mandates, or Jesus mandates, that we as women don't try to instruct men, not because you know men are superior, but just as a form of protection, because men just generally don't want to listen to they just don't want to listen to women. It doesn't matter. Again, last night Like, and that wasn't even a woman, but even if it was a woman, and there were women there, and I don't want to, because we agreed that we were going to be nice to him, but even when Thema said the guy Jonathan on in there, like, you saw it. They don't want to listen to women. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to receive any message that a woman might be able to give them, any correction, even if it's just to point them onto the right path, even if it helps whatever it is they're trying to do. They generally don't want to hear it from a woman. They won't receive it. They won't accept it. They won't internalize it. Like, they just generally won't. Or you got to do so much kowtowing and bending yourself into a pretzel to make it seem like, but that's what, just like that clip we showed earlier, what's the name? Dr. Venus Opal Reese was saying, like, you have to be able to do it in a way where they don't even realize you're doing it. And that's what they feel like is femininity. But it's like, that's work. That's work. That's emotional labor. And like I said, when you're doing all these hard things to survive, not only to survive, but also to try to, because what was clear to me now as an adult watching that clip is that's also a generational thing. Whereas, like I said, the previous generation, their focus was on surviving in a different type of way. Their focus was on physically surviving, physically making it through to the next day, making it through to the next place. You know what I mean? And now that they have that physical safety, and that is a standard, that next level of awareness where the sun is coming in at is now psychological, and part of that is financial. You get what I'm, so like I said, it's not that his issues are invalid. And there is a disconnect. Like I said, what he's talking about is a real thing. However, he's not taking the time. He said, why don't I get notifications? I don't know, Patty. It's pretty good, but we haven't we've gotten into it, but there's still a good ways to go. So you haven't even missed half of it, right? It says women are better off preserving their peace of mind by avoiding that emotional labor in the first place. Right. And like I said, you're seeing the labor that, and it's not just him. There's 3 women in the house, and you'll see them in the later clips. There's the mother who, like I said, because she's so weather hardened from what she actually physically had to go through and fear and everything like this is light work to her. It's new, and you see her kind of like, what is going on? What are these problems? But it's nothing she can't handle because she's used to so much worse in her mind. You know what I mean? Whereas for him, he's like, oh, I'm dying in here. And I know that feeling personally because, like I said, I'm going through that. I say it all the time. We don't know. Thank you so much, True Mystique. We don't know how to do some of the things that our psyche and our subconscious is calling us to do, because we are the next link in the chain of our ancestors. You get what I'm saying? So whereas all those people before us went through those struggles that we wouldn't be able to handle now. Like, everybody wants to talk about what they would do if they were back in slavery time, but we soft in that way. We would never be able to handle what they were able to psychologically handle and physically handle, because we're in a whole different paradigm. But it's fraught with its own struggles and challenges, and you know what I mean? So, like I said, his problems are relevant, but it's also that matter of, this is your support system, this is your lifeline, this is your foundation, and you are rotting away the roots of your family tree because you won't, 1, acknowledge that you have a problem, and 2, seek out healthier, more inclusive ways. And a big part of that, like I said, is due to that idea of the dominance of manhood and the entitlement of certain access and power and influence that they feel like they should have inherently. Not that they should build up, not that they should hone and refine, you know, what they talk about, those soft skills. They don't want it. Is, I'm a man, I should be able to demand, and that should be it. And when they don't get that, then you get them acting like petulant children. And you're supposed to put up with that. And you're supposed to not even put up with that. You're supposed to desire that. But now I want to get into because I said I wanted to talk about when the wife was like, you turned my stomach, and he was like, I hate you too, baby, or something like that. And then like he has an attitude about her. Well, I'm gonna talk about Deanne first. We'll talk about Deanne first, and then we'll get into his attitude about her being pregnant or whatever. This was for Deanne. It was 22-24. I want her big.
And judges. It does happen on occasion. But as a general practice, because men do not listen to women in authority like that, starting from your son or grandson at 13 who tunes you out, ladies, it is not in the nature of men in the mass, unless they have emotional intelligence and unless you have developed trust with them you need both on a very high level. It is not in the nature of men in general to respect the authority of women. And even when they do, there's problems on the back end with that. Because if you're right, he resents it. If you need credit for that, he resents that you were right. He resents that you were caught out there. He now resents that you feel that you're better. And if you're wrong, he's gonna blame that. He's gonna blame that on you, and he's gonna blame that on every other woman he ever deals with. Is gonna have to deal with that because God says, "Don't do it." And he's not saying that because he hates women. He's saying that to protect and provide for you in a world in which the nature of men, unless they have matured in the faith, is not changed that much. Unless a man is mature in his faith, unless a man is mature emotionally, he's not going to take direction from women as authority.
Everything she said, unless a man is emotionally mature. And now we're getting into what the mother was talking about. The mother was saying, like, your dad was different. You're gonna see in the late you're gonna see in the next clip of A Raisin in the Sun, how the mother talks about the husband and how he handled, providing for the family under the conditions they were in. Because mind you, whatever pressures, not pressures necessarily, but whatever hindrances the son is going through, the father went through in spades, right? But it's not about necessarily what he was going through. It was about his sense of purpose and why would he put up with it? What was his purpose for putting up with it? It was his family. What was his purpose for just being able to have a safe space where, like I said, nobody was chasing them. Nobody was trying to lynch them. Nobody was trying to keep them from eating. Nobody was trying to take the money out their mouth. You know what I mean? Like, just being able to provide that safe haven where him and his family could grow was his purpose. That's provision. You know what I mean? And it wasn't about her. His focus wasn't on, you not listening to me and this and that and the other. And like I said, if you look at the way the woman talked, you know that she wasn't trying to usurp him. But guess what? She also understood that she was safe with him because his focus again was on all of them staying alive, having the best of whatever there was to offer at that time, which for Black people at that time was simply staying alive. So just her knowing that he wants her to be alive and he's going to do whatever he can to foster her being alive was enough for her to go, wow, I got a good one. And I'm not saying that in a way of, the bare minimum. I'm saying like he should. But you got this next generation, and I'm talking about him, he's like, oh, she alive, but what's she doing for me? You see the difference? And then you have, now let's come into our time, and you have the mental, oh, what you do? How can your children be an asset to me? And how are you an asset? What can you do for me? You get what I'm saying? You don't want the best. Why you don't need degrees? Even though degrees can afford you the best that life can offer at this time. Don't do that for yourself. Because then you don't give me an opportunity to come in and offer you something and use that as leverage over you. But then they wonder why we don't like their asses. Then they wonder why we don't want them around us. Then they wonder why we are laughing at them. Why they're lonely. And then again, and this goes into, now I'm going to get into what I was about to talk about when it came to him talking about his wife, like, oh, what she ever did for me. And then, the mom is saying, oh, your wife is about to abort your child. What you got to say about that? Your father would have something very specific to say about that, because he's about life and he's about family and he's about this. These are his values. What do you have to say? And he's just kind of like, it is what it is. And so that brings me to, I know you've seen it. I know you guys have seen it, but we're going to share it. What is this? All right, there it is. So, I think it was Erica that brought it up, and she spoke about it. I didn't see her. I think she premiered a video while I was on, but this is from Damian Michael's Extreme or something like that, and he's breaking down. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold up. Okay, so this man is talking about. I'm gonna just read it because it is self-explanatory, right? Hey, Erica. Okay, now I get to sing to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Erica. Happy birthday to you. I said I was going to sing to you because I sang to Nia earlier. If you showed up, happy birthday, sweet face, girl. I'm glad you're here. I just was talking about you too. I don't know if you heard me say your name. Oh goodness. Yeah, everyone's saying happy birthday to Erica. What she say, elbow call? Okay, I know, because I literally just mentioned you because I said you had said something about this, and I know you were premiering videos. I saw the notifications on my phone, so I knew you were premiering videos. I'm glad you came in. It's good, girl. Okay, so this guy says, I'm going to read it. People keep talking about why do men sleep with women they don't like, and if so, why? Well, I'll explain. Men are physical creatures! Exclamation point, exclamation point. They do not need to like you in order to have sex with you! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I'm going to stop with the exclamation. Actually, sometimes we want to F you just to dominate you. Sometimes we want to F you because we actually do not like you. With emphasis. Yes, I said that. We want to F you because we do not like you. That annoying bee of a manager at work with the nice ass, we want to F her because she has power over us. Simple as that. We want to put her in a position where she is. Hold on. We want to put her in a position where she is under us. That annoying ex-girlfriend that we like effing but hate being with. Yeah, her ass is amazing. Her head is spectacular. But after we found out that she slept with one of our friends, we decided to keep her around and F her just to get back at her for being a hoe. We don't like her, but we will keep effing her. That hoe with the good puss that our boy told us about, we don't respect her or like her, but we want to experience her. So we'll F her. The woman who parades around on stilettos and acts like her piss is made of celestial stardust and unattainable by any man on earth, we don't necessarily like her. She makes us feel small. But if we could F her into submission, it would shrink her and level the playing field. Again, we don't like her. If we feel her slipping away and just don't want to see her happy with another man, we'll keep effing her because that keeps her tethered to us and unable to be courted by another male. Do we like her? No, we like possessing her. This is a very sad truth, and I know some of you are like, oh, but more often than not, men sleep with women out of dominance and possessiveness. Even the man you love will do it, and you won't know. He'll either see you flirt or look at another man. I think that was that the other one? And make it up in his mind to F you into a coma later because you wanted to be extra cute in front of his friends. You think you're getting passionate love. Meanwhile, it's dick thrashing because you pissed him off. I'm guilty of this. In order for a man to have sex with you, better yet, make love to you and honor you while doing so, he must care for and value you, void of any resentment or spite. I'm going to say that last point again. Void of any resentment or spite. Otherwise, you will be receiving a lot of spiteful dick. Hashtag spiteful dick. Hashtag the truth. Hashtag most men don't like y'all. Hashtag they like y'all pussies. Hashtag but y'all knew that already. Yes, that's exactly what I thought about. Or demonic. It is demonic. And I want to read something. I want to read. How long is this excerpt in the book? I'll just read till I feel like when we're talking about they don't respect us and they harbor resentment. So for those of us who this sounds like a hate crime, yep, Alexis was right years ago. She sure was. Predatory, but will be in someone's mental Rolodex. It's psychotic. Women worldwide need to know. What's she saying? Women worldwide need to go on a kitty. I wish we could. Like, I wish we could get the whole world, the word out. Please. Oh, yes. She said that they need not complain when Black women stop messing with them because Black women stop messing. Listen, let me tell you something. It's coming because there's no way to keep moving in that energy and it not catch up to you wherever you go. But again, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get off of the thing. When we're talking about the men, and you saw like the way he was talking to his wife in that clip, you saw the way he was talking to his mother. Black men generally do not like or respect Black women. And a big part of the reason is because of the way that we, even though we have a hard time, even though we, like I said, it's like Fruit Ninja, we're always trying to protect ourselves. We still have a certain finesse about us. And that goes back into the clip that I showed of Dr. Venus Oprah Reese saying, like, the hustle is it's about your energy and it's about being able to kind of maneuver between, and she's going to talk some more about it in another clip later, when she talks about how the skill set that you need to be able to go to school. And she's actually going to talk about why she goes to school, because this is going to be about hustle, right? Because we're talking about how these men are mad and trying to hold us back from doing certain things and don't like it when we excel in a certain way. Like I had a really good friend of mine who had a child with somebody. I don't know if I think she had 2 children with him at the time. And she was going to school for medical billing and stuff like that. And he tried to sabotage her from being able to go to school. He disappeared. He wouldn't watch his children. But like, it's different things like that. You see it so many times where they try to sabotage you from being able to attain something that they can't attain. And a big part of it is because they refuse. It ain't that they can't do it. They refuse. And they keep telling themselves that it's not necessary and it's not natural, whatever, to build up the skill set that it takes to be able to do shit like that, to go to school, to get what you need. And like I said, the clip from Dr. Venus later is going to tie all into that. Let me read this part here. But when we're talking about, now you read that, you saw how he was acting towards his wife. Now I want to read to you about this is part of Let's Talk About Sex? So this is part of the chapter that's called Let's Talk About Sex. This is just a section of it. In my book. Oh, hell yes. Level Up, the Single Mother's Guide to Reclaiming Her Dignity. You can never truly love a man if you do not respect him. We tend to think that just because we want to be with someone, it means that we love them. But if you take the time to look at your reasoning for wanting to be with them, you'll realize it has little or nothing to do with who they actually are as a person. Think about it. You're always complaining about them. You don't think they care enough about you or your children. So what's the big draw? One of the biggest ways we sabotage ourselves when it comes to relationships is believing the ends will justify the means in the long run. All we're doing is making ourselves suffer and dragging our babies down that long, painful road with us. The dynamic between my father's daughter and I was very adversarial. When we weren't having sex, we were either arguing or not in contact. He would try to give me instruction all the time. In retrospect, I believe what he was seeking was a traditional male lead dynamic between the two of us. However, I would fight him at every turn, even sometimes when he would be giving sound advice. Why was that? Because I didn't trust him. Why would I let someone I didn't trust give me counsel? And now this isn't in the book, but I'm going to take it further. Why would I let someone that I didn't trust penetrate me? We do not trust nor respect these men. In some cases, they don't work. They don't prioritize their own children. They lie, you name it, and they've done it. We have no respect for them, yet still we want them to stay in our lives and play a major role. But the silliest part about it was even though I didn't trust him in general, I still wanted to be with him. Make that make sense. If there's no trust between you and your child's father, there can't be anything good. When you don't trust them, you'll always be wondering if what they say is meant to hurt you or help you. We as women confuse our desire to trust someone as actual trust for them. We operate in a perpetual state of cognitive dissonance, fixating on any and every detail of the situation except the ones that glaringly support our least wanted outcome. So, again, all these things are coming from different unrelated places. You get what I'm saying? This is all data. This is all, information that we've been processing. This stuff, even though I'm saying it to you, it may seem somewhat new. I'm sure. Let me put a 1 in the chat. Even though I may be saying it in a way that might be clearer than you ever thought about before, let me put a 1 in the chat if it feels familiar. If anything that I just described feels familiar to you, put a 1 in the chat. She said, at this point, women need to create communities with each other and men who are willing to learn, and that's it. Yeah, because and if you see, like in this play, there is a community of women. Like I said, it's a matriarchy, and my family has been a matriarchy. It's a mother, his wife, and his sister, and it is him and his son. It is a community of women, and all the women are getting along fine. The women are getting along fine. Tiffany's put up a 1. Yes, facts, Lancenet. Like she said, boy, after hearing that again, I just feel Sahara dry. That's what please share this with the baby girls. Please share this with the baby girls, because if I had known this, I wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So I am grateful for that. I ain't even want to lie. Like, I'm grateful to be here with y'all, but please let the baby girls know. Like, let's help them sidestep all this BS, because this is a mess. It really is a mess. Hope H says, that's why I trust my intuition and radar. If I feel any resentment or negative vibes from a man, I am out. But that's the thing. And then even his wife and you saw the genuine confusion. His mom was like, what's wrong with you? Because again, for her, it's like, this is a part of life. Having external struggles is a part of life, but you hone into that person. But he's just looking at her like, oh, she's holding me back with these kids, his children, these kids. And, what has she ever done for me? What was she supposed to do for you? But then again, like a lot of women do when they try to be that difference maker, and when they try to, lessen the load for a man, then it's, oh, she's mothering me, or she's nagging me, or, oh, I'm going to take all this stuff from her because she's a dummy, and I'm going to go impress the next chick. So it's like you can't win for losing with a man who, when it all boils down to it, he's just not happy within himself. And he's not doing his work to say, I'm not happy within myself, and why am I not? And asking the questions and being willing to make the changes and being willing to challenge the paradigms that have been thrust upon him. Because again, it all boils down to patriarchy. It all boils down to this idea of male entitlement to power and submission and dominance and all that other bullshit. And we are taught to gaslight ourselves as women. Absolutely. And it's natural, because we are, I know my natural instinct is to nurture. My natural instinct is to nurture. And I'm not saying because I'm a feminine woman. I feel like I take that on as just a personality trait. When I see people hurting, when I see people, struggling, even if it's struggling with a thought or a concept or something, it's my instinct to want to help them. You know what I mean? So it's hard. Like I said, when you're dealing with men who are going to resent you when you do, resent you when you don't, resent you when you know something they don't know, and they don't want to they want you to tell them they're right, even though they are wrong, and you're supposed to tell them they're right, but also make them not wrong. Like it's ridiculous. You got to do, it's too much work. Instead of just, okay, you were saying this isn't wrong, this is the right thing, let's handle it and move on. You got to spend all this time with them, and you're the problem if you won't let them drive you off a cliff because they're the man and they said that that's what y'all should do. I don't have time. Like I said, I know very well while I'm single, I recognized those types of dynamics before, and I just was like, I'm not doing that. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And it's not about me wanting or needing to be right. It's about me needing to be okay. You know what I mean? And I can't feel confident that I'm going to be okay or that my children are going to be okay if you're just going to stick to things that are clearly wrong and you can see that it's wrong, but you refuse to let me help or better the situation in any kind of way, or expecting you to struggle for their sake. Because the thing is, even with that clip of the thing, if they were struggling, if they had to struggle to do what he wanted to do, so if they had to struggle in order for him to have the liquor store he wanted, that struggle would be okay. But he's going to try to do, you want to let my child struggle because you won't let me waste this money on a business venture that I don't even know the first thing about, being able to check into the prospectus of what Willie said we supposed to be doing. And you'll see what happens with that. Let me move on. They push you to mother them. Yeah, and they guilt you to mother them too. Because look at what's her name? Jazzy Brown or whatever. They push you to mother them, but if you give into that, they'll distance themselves and disrespect you. If you hold them accountable, some step up and some become incels, and that's their problem. Men's fragile ego and their comfort and their mediocrity is what's ruining this world. But it's single mothers. So let me entertain you. Let's see, where are we going now? Okay. Deanne was given the word. Okay, let me go. So now, the mother, I'm gonna fill in the blanks here. The mother decides, still trying to give her son, the benefit of the doubt and give him a chance to step up as the man. She's like, here, I'm going to let you deposit the check into the bank. You know what I mean? She's trying to give him some kind, because you're trying to throw him a bone, right? You're like, we're a family unit. You're important too, honey. You can do things too, baby. Like you're trying to let them be a part of whatever. And she gives him the check to take to the bank. And this is what he does.
Is it gone, son? Walter Lee, Is it gone? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, your sister's money for school. No. You used that money too? Mama, I never went to the bank at all. Oh, it's all gone. All of it. Mama, I'm sorry. I seen him come home night after night. He look at the rug and he look at me. Red showing in his eyes, veins moving in his head. I seen him grow thin and old before he was 40, working and working and working like somebody's old horse, killing himself, and you give it away in one day.
Mama.
Show me the strength. Son.
Wait, did you see the wife? Did you see the white face though? She looked at him like this nigga. She said, I've seen this before. I thought I just read the book. Yeah. Wait, why is it playing again? Oh no. No. Stop it. Stop. It's not time for you yet. Okay, I'm gonna shut you down. Okay. It's doing too much. She said YouTube is messy. It sure is. Patty said, damn it. Yep. She said, I wouldn't have a son after that. She said, and she cried like Viola.